Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to Sacramento City Unified School District School Board meeting, September 19th. We are ready to begin. Roll call, Madam Superintendent.
Member Jean. Here. Member Kayada. Member Phillips.
Here.
Member Rhodes.
Present.
Member Singh.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Fantastic. Into closed we go.
That rhymes.
Oh, public comment, sorry.
There is none.
You gotta wave your hands and be like, public comment. Okay. All right. All right, into closed. Good evening. Item 4.0, calling back to order, Pledge of Allegiance. Madam Superintendent.
Everyone please stand.
Item 4.2, I'd like to invite our student board member to read our broadcast statement.
This meeting of the Sacramento City School Board is being recorded and will be cablecast on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on Comcast and AT&T UVerse systems. Today's meeting will be aired Sunday, September 22nd at 9 a.m. on Monday, September 23rd at 12 p.m. It is also webcast at metro14live.saccounty.gov and can be viewed on Metro Cable 14's YouTube channel. We welcome members of the audience to address the board. Please complete a speaker form which are located in the back of the room and give them to our communications representative along with any handouts you may have for the board prior to the conclusion of the item's presentation. Please speak into the microphone when addressing the board and state your name for the record. Please limit comments during public comment to items that are not on the agenda. If you do comment on an item that is listed on the agenda, we will ask that you please defer your comments until your item comes up on the agenda. Please also either turn off your cell phones or place them on silent mode.
Thank you. Item 4.3, stellar student introduced by board member Jasjeet Singh. Floor is yours, sir.
That is me. All right. Our stellar student tonight is Vera Cochran. Can you come on up? All right, so Vera is an exceptional 8th grader at Umoja, known for her academic excellence and community involvement, a straight-A student. Vera consistently demonstrates a passion for learning across all subjects. Her leadership skills shine through her active role on the school's student leadership team, where she helps organize events and initiatives to improve student life. Her helpful nature extends to her peers, as she's always ready to assist classmates with difficult concepts or lend a hand to teachers. She embodies the IB learner profile traits, particularly in her role as an inquirer, thinker, and communicator. Her balanced approach to academics, leadership, and community service makes her an excellent role model for her fellow students. Those are some amazing words from your friends and supporters, so congratulations on this honor as a stellar student tonight.
Thank you.
Do you have words to share with us?
No words.
All right. Okay, well, we're going to come down and take some photos with you then. Is that cool? Perfect.
Beautiful dress too.
You don't hide behind me. Those your parents? Okay. Come on.
1, 2, 3, spot.
Here are the parents. Come on.
Gotta get all the people. Item 5.0, announcement of action taken in closed session. Madam Council.
Good evening, President Phillips. There are 3 announcements coming out of closed session this evening. First, the board approved a settlement agreement related to special education services by a vote of 6-0 with member Pritchett absent. Second, the board approved a settlement agreement related to OAH case number 2024-050659 by a vote of 6-0 with member Pritchett absent. Finally, the board approved a settlement agreement related to a construction dispute at the Albert Einstein Middle School re-roofing project by a vote of 6-0 with member Pritchett absent. The material terms of the settlement include full and final payment of $250,000 to Roofing and Solar Construction Incorporated. That's it.
Thank you. Onward and upward. Agenda adoption, item 6.0. Any discussion? Can I entertain a motion? Seconded. All in favor? Aye. All right, we are good. Moving on. I forgot. Was it? No, it's not student press. I'm not going to forget it at all this evening. Item 7.0, public comment. Do we have any public comment?
We do. The first public comment is Tiffany Borba, followed by Josuel Vasquez, and followed by Jason Mallory.
How many? Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Kangas, how many speakers do we have total? Oh, just 3. All right. So you get the full 2 minutes. The mic is yours, ma'am. Ms. Borba? Yes. Yes, all yours.
I am Tiffany Borba. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My son is a sophomore at Rosemont High School and has been a target of profiling and continued harassment by the principal, Mr. Jones. Many other black and brown students also seem to be a constant focus of the principal, who is constantly accusing them of having vape pens. This year, on several occasions, my son and his friends have been followed on campus and into the bathrooms. They are being searched repeatedly, yet no contraband has been found. This treatment seldom happens to children of his own ethnicity, who my son is adamant that he has seen vaping while Jones is present, yet he chooses to ignore. My son in particular has been searched beyond district protocol last year and as well as this week, where he has been asked to remove his shoes, his insole, to pull his pants lower, pull his pockets out of his shorts that are under his pants, and even made to fold down his underwear, almost exposing his pubic hair. He has even been asked to turn around, exposing his backside skin, while the underwear band is much lower than what is appropriate. My son finds this sexually offensive and intrusive, just as I do. Last Friday night during the football game, my son was followed once again by Mr. Jones, who was up in the bleachers with his family, bypassed children smoking in the bleachers, went down to the track, and followed my son and his friends specifically. There also was a school district employee there who witnessed this behavior. On Monday, Mr. Jones followed my son twice into the bathroom. The second time, he pulled my son into his office, searched him again as I described before, underwear folded and all. No contraband was found once again. He accused my son of having smoke coming out of his nostrils, which nobody else saw. He also told him that his ear pods would get him expelled, which has been his only bona fide violation this year. They are not even allowed on their phones during lunchtime. Principal Jones confiscated over 100 phones on just a single day last week during their lunch break. Upon a conversation with Mr. Jones, he denied all previous contact with my son this year. He claimed not to recall the search, and he denied the underwear incident. He has chosen to discipline my son with the drug class based on his word, with no physical evidence, no video, or another employee to corroborate this claim. On Tuesday, I emailed him letting him know that there are many discrepancies with these statements that do not align with the truth. I expressed my objection to my son participating in this class. Within 45 minutes of sending that email, my son contacted me to let me know that he had been followed again. This time, Principal Jones was waiting outside my son's classroom, leaning up against the wall. When class let out, he followed my son one-on-one to the water fountain and then into the bathroom. He stood there listening as my son urinated, while my son watched my son as he washed his hands and walked out. I would assume only to intimidate my son because of the complaint and the challenge of the facts. There was only one other child in the bathroom, no group. Big groups were the reason Principal Jones gave me earlier in that day for his reasons of entering these bathrooms so many times. I reported this to Mr. Ray Lozada from the Safe School Board, and I was directed to the constituent's office where Nick Perez contacted me and we discussed my concerns. He talked to Jones, who denied targeting my son, said that the punishment sticks and that Jones had final say and authority at that school and that my only recourse was HR, being an employee issue. No intervention, not even a meeting, was offered by any party, Perez or Principal Jones. I was not informed about Title IX, nor the Assistant Instructional Superintendent, Duong, if I'm saying that correct,
Please
Jones'
wrap up your
immediate
comment.
supervisor. That information came from elsewhere.
Please wrap up your public comment.
We're going to let her finish this.
Thank
We're going to let
you.
her finish. I'm sorry.
I'll be very quick. Last page. These acts of microaggression, of stalking, are traumatizing to my son, and they are causing him mental distress. It's causing missed periods and interruption to his learning. He started off this year positive, focused, and on task at school. My son is engaged with his teacher, trains athletically, and participates in many mentorship programs after school. This constant policing by Mr. Jones and continued criminalizing perspective aimed towards my son and other boys of color is creating a hostile environment that is not cohesive. It does not promote an environment where my child and others can thrive. Since these latest incidents, my son is anxious about school and fearful of what the day will bring. On one occasion last year, 2 boys jumped my son's friend, an African child, kicking him on his body and in his head. Mr. Jones denied that child for over 3 hours the opportunity to call his mom when he repeatedly asked. After typing this letter today, I found out that my son and almost a dozen of his friends were searched again, today being Thursday. My son being pulled mid-assignment from his class once again. And again, nothing was found on any of these children. I come before you today asking for your direction and help with my son. I urge you, the district, to not only look into this, but to implement a uniformed protocol for searches that all schools must abide by that protect the safety of its children. A requirement for evidence when discipline is introduced and not just hearsay of one staff member. That all contact involving searches be documented. That there is an evaluation of the data that reflects the ethnic demographics of the students required to attend these drug classes, which is egregiously disproportioned. A yearly survey, maybe, from students where they can express their campus issues anonymously without fear of retaliation, and a thorough investigations into the actions by Mr. Jones breaking protocol, criminalizing, targeting, and harassing these groups who happen to be a majority of minority students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Borba. Mr. Duong is in the back, and he's going to speak for you. He has a great jacket back there.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, last name Vasquez. Mike's yours.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Josua Vasquez, and I would like to talk about the benefits of AI in schools. AI is the future, and it's here to stay. Much in the same way that spell check companies like Grammarly have changed the way we communicate, AI can do this for students. My concern is that the school district has adopted a distraction-free environment, which means that students have to turn off their phones when school begins and then turn it on once school is out. But the reality is AI is on their phones, and students can definitely benefit from interacting with AI in the classroom because when they go home, the teacher's not there, the PowerPoints may not be there, but AI can be there for them. The reality is AI can definitely serve by personalizing learning environments for students and become that nexus between understanding complex issues, personalizing to the student needs so that the student can have a better understanding of the subjects. And that is my public comment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, last name Mallory. I'm hoping I got that. Mallory? All yours.
Hi, how are you guys? So I'm Jason Mallory. I am a 4th-generation teacher from Silicon Valley. I spent 7 years up until the COVID shutdown working here in Sac City Unified School District as a substitute and guest teacher. Did the work honorably and well. Have taught close to 10,000 students in classrooms. I'm for some reason not a teacher of record. I spent 3 semesters working full-time teaching math being told I'd be entered into the internship program and get teacher of record and full pay and healthcare. Then it just didn't happen. At 3 separate times at New Tech, at Hiram Johnson. The COVID shutdown happened, and leading up to that, I was trying to get Sac City Teachers Association to address that I'm doing the full-time work and getting a quarter of the compensation package. Wouldn't be addressed. COVID happened, the school shut down. I became excommunicated. I couldn't get replies from anybody, not Sac City Unified School District, not Sac City Teachers Association, not the EDD. The California State Assembly had to get involved for me to be able to communicate with people. Somehow, my signed letter of reasonable assurance of continued employment during the COVID school shutdown was received as a letter of resignation, and no one can tell me who was involved in that or when that actually happened. Certainly not Nikki Malevsky. I've asked. I would like these things addressed. I've also been trying to re-onboard to my substitute teaching job since COVID. I've been told I've had to reapply. I've reapplied. I've been told the next step is an interview. Just wait for the email. Just keep waiting. Just keep waiting. 6 months go by. Just keep waiting. So my ask of you guys is, now that I've had to reapply, a third time, will any of you guys be my recommendations and go through this process with me so you could see firsthand what's happening? I believe I'm suffering RICO statute offenses.
Thank you. We take public comment. We don't necessarily comment on that comment, but it is duly noted. Superintendent will be managing this at some point. I am really sorry that you're going through this, and we will move on, if that's okay with you. We don't have a response for you at this point. I'm looking.
Okay, my next steps, as I'm trying to get this job back, my next steps are also potentially, as the EDD has put me forward to wrongful termination for Sac City Unified and Sac City Teachers Association. That's not what I'm trying to do, but I would like to not be disrespected and like to get my pre-COVID position back. Thank you.
Thank you. No more public comment, ma'am?
No more.
All right. Moving on to item number 7. Nope, number 8, communications, 8.1, employee organization reports. First up, SCTA. President Molesky, the floor is yours.
Good evening, members of the board. Nikki Malevsky, president of the Sacramento City Teachers Association. Nice to see you here tonight. Well, we feel the weather's shifting, right? And we know that open houses are happening and first progress notes are coming out, so fall must be here. At our last meeting, we raised concerns about the crisis in special education. Since that meeting, Superintendent Allen has taken proactive steps in naming Becky Bryant and Iris Taylor to fill in as interim leaders of the department. In that short time Becky and Iris have been here, we've had several productive meetings, and we've begun to triage many of the largest challenges facing special education. We all know that there is a tremendous amount of work to do, but once again, we want to recognize that working together is the most productive way to address these challenges, and especially want to acknowledge the leadership of Becky and Iris in stepping up to this critical task. We would be remiss if we did not comment on the unaudited actuals reports that Chief Business Officer Marking will discuss later in the agenda. It was the last budget of the Aguilar-Ramos leadership team, and like every budget that they were responsible for, it's a product of disinformation. Contrary to the predictions, the unaudited actuals show SUSD ending 23-24 with a $36 million surplus, bringing the unrestricted reserve fund to $172 million and its combined reserve fund to $298 million. Despite this, I'm sure we can all anticipate the gloom and doom emanating from Dave Gordon in the Sacramento County Office of Education, but the actual numbers show otherwise. And we are confident that the district will stay on the right track to ensure that students receive the services that they are entitled to, and that for the first time in a long time, SUSD is able to successfully recruit and retain those who reflect the diversity of the district. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Molesky. Say the whole thing. Next up, SEIU. Next, TCS. Teamsters. UPE. Moving on, item 8.2, District Advisory Committees, Student Advisory Council, Community Advisory Committee, CAC, DLAC, District English Learner Advisory Committee, LCAP, Local Control Accountability Plan, Parent Advisory Committee, BAAB, Black African American Advisory Board, Community Schools Advisory Committee, and American Indian Education Program Parent Committee. Okay, look forward to hearing from y'all next time. Item 9.0, special presentation. 9.1, we're looking into, approve resolution number 3442, National Suicide Prevention and Recovery Month. Board member Ms. Jacqueline Garner.
All right, good evening. Board President Phillips, Superintendent Allen, members of the board. I'm Jacqueline Garner, Executive Director of Student Support and Health Services, and I'm excited to be co-presenting with the members of our Student Advisory Council on our National Suicide Prevention and Recovery Month. I'm going to step aside, let them introduce themselves, and they will highlight the rest of the board resolution. Thank you.
Young folks, the mic is yours.
Hi, my name is Samaya. I'm from Rosemont High School. I'm a senior.
Hello, my name is Maggie. I'm a junior at SES.
Hello, I'm Justine. I'm a junior at West Campus. So last week, Student Support and Health Services came to Student Advisory Council and helped workshop with us this resolution for Suicide Awareness Month. I would like to also add that we hope to work more on this issue in the Student and Mental Wellness Council, which was established last year and will be getting off the ground soon, hopefully.
So to start off, whereas the second week of each September is National Suicide Awareness Prevention Week, and September is National Recovery Month, when millions of people around the world join their voices to share a message of hope and healing, and whereas according to the CDC, one person dies by suicide every 11 minutes, resulting in 49,000 deaths each year in the United States, and suicide was the second leading cause for people ages 10 through 14, and the third leading cause of death for people ages 15 to 24. And whereas SUSD has taken a number of steps towards supporting our students, staff, and families' mental health and well-being, including providing all SUSD communities access to Care Solace, a resource that provides navigation and linkage to community-based mental health and substance abuse treatment, ensuring school-based mental health support, staffing to all schools in order to increase access to early identification and intervention, and most recently, working with SUSD Student Health Advisory Council to establish SUSD Student Mental Wellness Council.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Sacramento City Unified School District of Board Education proclaims the month of September 2024 is Suicide Prevention and Recovery Month. Be it further resolved that the SUSD Student Mental Wellness Council will continue to elevate the conversation throughout the upcoming year in effort to not lose one more life. Be it further resolved that the SUSD will continue to strive towards individualized access to students and community-based mental health service and support for all students and staff. Be it further resolved that SUSD Sacramento City Unified School District of Education encourages all members of our school community to actively participate in Suicide Prevention Month. Initiatives such as staff training and student classroom education, and join us in our commitment to promote mental health and prevent suicide.
Thank you.
We're done.
Okay. I appreciate that. Do we have any public comment? Ms. Kangas?
No.
Thank you. I'd like to open this up to my colleagues for board discussion. This is an action item. I just want to say the one line that says suicide is a preventable national, state, and local public health problem. I appreciate that because it needs to be said just that way. This is an issue for all of us, especially our students. And always, as always, student resolutions are fire. Thank you, good job. And with that, I would like to make a motion. And I have a second from over here. And we will do roll call, but first, student preferential vote.
Aye.
Thank you.
Member Kayada. Member Jean.
Aye.
Member Phillips.
Aye.
Member Rhodes.
Aye.
Member Singh.
Aye.
Member Villa.
Aye.
So moved.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, this is me. Okay, item 9.2. It's approve the resolution 3443, recognition of National Hispanic Heritage Month. September 15 through October 15, 2024 is National Hispanic Heritage Month, which was started in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon Johnson, was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988. Hispanic Heritage Month was enacted into law on August 17, 1988, and our Board of Education recognizes the positive influences that Hispanics have on the country and in the community through their strong commitment to family, faith, hard work, and service, and commends the many local community organizations that support their progress, enrich their culture, and celebrate the multi-ethnic and multicultural customs of the Hispanic community. I'm going to read a couple whereases. In that we, the Sacramento City Unified School District, take great pride in joining citizens throughout our country in recognizing National Hispanic Heritage Month, which honors the histories, cultures, and contributions of American citizens whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. Whereas the Sacramento City Unified School District serves more than 16,052 Latino and Latinx and Latina students, or about 42% of the student population. And whereas 205 students have received the Spanish language seal of biliteracy through the Multilingual Literacy Department in Sacramento City Unified School District in the 23-24 school year. And whereas Sacramento City Unified School District is committed to improving the academic and social emotional outcomes for English language learners and all students in the district. And whereas, no, I stopped with my whereases. So be it further resolved that the Sacramento City Unified School District Board of Education commits to actively promoting and supporting initiatives that hone the contributions of Latino and Latinx individuals, fostering an environment of inclusion and respect, and ensuring that the diverse cultural heritage of these communities is reflected in our educational programs and practices. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Sacramento City Unified Board of Education declares September 15 through October 15, 2024 as National Hispanic Heritage Month, recognizes the contributions of local Latino and Latinx leaders, district staff, students, and their families. And with that, I will ask for any public comment.
There is none.
Thanks. And I'll open that up for board discussion. My colleagues. Okay, moved by Member Rhodes. I hear a tandem second down there by Jean and Ms. Villa. And student preferential vote.
Aye.
Roll call.
Member Kayada. Member Jean.
Aye.
Member Phillips.
Aye.
Member Rhodes.
Aye.
Member Singh.
Aye.
Member Villa.
Aye.
Thank you, perfect. Okay, moving on. So we are item 10.1. This is a determination hearing for charter renewal for St. Hope Public 7. We say PS 7, but Public 7. So we're going to convene what we call a public hearing on the petition that was submitted to the district to renew the St. Hope Public School 7 charter for a 5-year term beginning on July 1, 2025 and ending on June 30, 2030. Ms. Amanda Goldman, Director of Innovative Schools, will share additional details regarding the review process for the renewal petition and discuss the procedures for this public hearing so that it is clear for the public. Madam, it's all yours.
Thank you. So I'm going to read a little bit here and then we'll go to the slides. Thank you, SUSD Board. As required by law, the board received a detailed staff renewal report that includes an evaluation of the petition, supporting documents, student outcomes, and St. Hope's response to a notice of alleged fiscal and governance concerns and other information. Staff, in consultation with third-party review team with charter school expertise, analyzed the legal requirements set forth in the Education Code to determine whether St. Hope Public Schools, or PS7, qualifies for renewal based on the academic performance criteria set out in the law and whether the petition meets the minimum standards for approval. The staff renewal report includes the review team's findings of fact and determination that the petition meets requirements to be eligible for approval. The staff report was posted to the district's website and provided to St. Hope at least 15 days prior to this meeting, as required under the Education Code. This public hearing is required to be held before the board may take action on the renewal petition. As part of this hearing, district staff and representatives of PS7 must be provided with equal time and procedures to address the staff renewal report, including proposed findings of fact in that document. Then the board will hear public comment on those proposed findings and consider the admission preferences in the renewal petition. District staff and St. Hope representatives will each have 7.5 minutes to address the board. Following such presentations, the board will receive comments from any members of the public, including on the admission preferences. Then the board will have the opportunity to ask questions or make any comments, deliberate, and take action on the petition. With that, we go back to our slides. So as we've talked about before, charter authorizing is in line with our core beliefs and guiding principles here in Sac City about providing students with choices. We have a process for tonight. I just outlined it in detail. We'll have a presentation, public comment, board discussion, and then board action does need to occur tonight to be within our 90-day timeframe. Review of the timeline. So St. Hope's petition was submitted in June, and here are all the relevant dates that were part of this process. I'm not going to read all of them. So as I've talked about before, the big idea with charters is we have this inch of flexibility, which is designed to create innovation and achievement, but that flexibility comes with accountability. When we come to charter renewal, it's like the formal coming together every 5 years to talk about what that looks like. There is the charter, which is the promise or the roadmap for how they will serve their students. There's their data and their record of oversight, which is how they've done in the past 5 years. And then there's their work of reflection and continuous improvement efforts. We don't expect perfection. We do expect to constantly be improving. And the idea is to triangulate all that, keeping students at the center. I'm supported by a review team of experts from around the state who do this work of authorizing regularly to build capacity within our own district to do the work internally. The state law has set 3 tiers for charter renewal that's based on dashboard data, and PS7 has been placed in the middle tier by the California Department of Education. Schools in the middle tier it's an assumption of renewal unless, and then there are 5 criteria under which you can potentially deny the renewal of a charter school in the middle tier. They are on this slide. And I'm not going to read them all right now, but we have to show that the school is unable to implement their program due to fiscal or governance concerns, not serving all students who wish to attend, has failed to meet sufficient progress towards meeting standards, and that closure is in the best interest of students. I, along with my review team, have reviewed the renewal report, have reviewed the petition submitted by PS7 along with the corrective action plan submitted by St. Hope Public Schools and found that they do meet all criteria for renewal. In collaboration, the petition in conjunction with their corrective action plan meets all criteria for renewal. On this slide, you have some things that are green, some things that are yellow. The yellow is meant to indicate that that is in conjunction with the corrective action plan. So those 2 documents together provide us with the promise or the roadmap for how their next term should look. And with that, they do meet the criteria for middle term renewal under those criteria. So to say that one more time, since I kind of mangled it, the charter petition is comprehensive and meets requirements. Their data shows that they are in the middle tier. They have historically strong outcomes. While they have had some recent declines, they have spoken to those. And through their corrective action plan, they responded to the concerns that we raised in this space about fiscal and governance issues. So based on this review, St. Hope is eligible for a 5-year term beginning July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2030. Should the board choose to renew, we have some suggestions of what might be some conditions that go along with that renewal, that if that is something that the board is interested in, we can return to this slide. With that, I'm going to hand off to the St. Hope Public School PS7 team to speak to their response here.
Good evening. It's all yours. My name is Lisa Ruda, and I'm the superintendent for St. Hope Public Schools. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to come before you this evening. Very briefly, I want to highlight that PS7, Public School 7, is in its 22nd year of operation. This is our 4th charter renewal. We opened as a K through 4 school and have expanded to a TK through 8 school. Particularly proud to highlight the ongoing renovation of our elementary campus on Strawberry Lane. It's a historic $35 million investment in property that has, don't need to go through it, it is yours, but what we've seen has been 19 new classrooms. We're in the process of renovating the multipurpose room, the office space, and adding another 12 classrooms, which will be ready this time next year. Want to thank the board staff for their recommendations and reports, and we concur in the conclusion that PS7 is a middle-performing charter school, presumed to be renewed for the next 5 years. We are particularly excited about the staff's report and their acknowledgement of the academic success we've had, as well as their consideration of our corrective action plan to share some confidence that moving forward, we will continue to achieve at those levels. More specifically, want to highlight just a few of the findings in the staff report. They've noted that PS7 has served a historically underserved community and has, quote, notably strong academic outcomes, particularly for African American and socioeconomically disadvantaged, I just like to say traditionally underserved student groups. When you look at our data and our results since our last renewal, last time we were here, which actually 8 years ago in the fall of 2016, with the exception of some small dips in 2023, which we're always happy to talk through, we've overwhelmingly excelled above state and other nearby school district averages in both math and in ELA. As the petition also, or as the staff report also concluded, our petition identified all the necessary elements needed for a complete petition, and that we are likely, based on our academic record of success, to continue the success in the future and produce high outcomes. So I stand before you today incredibly confident and proud of the results of PS7, but I'm also confident enough to acknowledge to you that we have work to do. Our focus as we move forward overwhelmingly is to build a deeper public trust and create greater transparency in our processes. In addition to that, we want to be certain that we're focusing on our suspension rate, our chronic absenteeism, because students who are not in school don't have the benefit of us working with them to educate them. That is an area we haven't talked a lot about, but we certainly are focused on at PS7 and, as we'll talk through, at Sac High. We've got to continue our robust professional development. We provide over 24 days to teachers new to the profession or new to St. Hope, but we realize that's not enough. This year, over a process that started last year, we've purchased commercially developed curriculum to take some of that load off of our teachers. As we talked last time we were here, we're incredibly focused on teacher credentialing and moving our teachers through what is a financially expensive and cumbersome process. We submitted to you a corrective action plan that we are committed to ensuring that we not only make progress on, but that we're regularly working with you to review that plan and our progress so that we're not waiting another 8 years, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years to have the conversations that really can be resolved through ordinary oversight with both teams working together. We commit to that, have committed to that, and I know that your staff will do the same. As I said, just very quickly, want to highlight that our priority now is ensuring we've got a positive culture for both our students and our staff. Family connections, keeping our students in class. We've hired additional behavior support professionals to help this year because we know it's not easy coming to school. You carry a lot of what you have at home, and we can't continue to put that all on our teachers and have some additional professionals, including one at PS7 Elementary, designed to support those behaviors. We've done almost what I'd consider to be a complete reset on expectations for students, consequences for students, but more importantly, training for staff to ensure that we support our students and keep them in school whenever possible. A high priority for us. Attendance, supporting our most vulnerable students, whether they identify themselves or others identify them as struggling with homelessness, are things that are all part of what we continue to focus on and will focus on to improve the climate, which will allow us to reduce suspensions, reduce absenteeism, and then continue to produce the academic results that we're all here to ensure we have. Just to highlight quickly, when it comes to our teachers, again, professional development, lightening their load has been incredibly important to us over the past 12 to 18 months. We've shared with you credentialing data, which is far more current than some of the data we talked about last time I was here, and I'm particularly pleased that the staff has acknowledged that who's considered an ineffective teacher has dropped somewhere in the past year from 63% to 32%, I think, in your report, just by getting the most accurate data. What's been great about this process is it highlights that the Sac City Unified team doesn't have real-time access to data. That's not a St. Hope issue. It's an issue with all charter schools that I think from this process we can work together to strengthen. So again, we can resolve issues as part of our normal day-to-day work as opposed to our once every 5 years, 7 year, whatever the process, whatever the timeline's going to be, renewal. And then again, we talked a little bit about our professional development. We continue to offer 24 days to new teachers, 21 days to existing staff that they participate in. We've really taken a hard look at what we're doing with this time. Yes, we're going to be focused on pedagogy, curriculum, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but we've taken a step back this year to say we also need to talk about issues like substance abuse, abuse from home, issues that may manifest themselves in behaviors that hit your classroom. Again, we can't ask simply all of our teachers to tackle these issues. It's all of us as professionals have to be able to identify these challenges and support our students. So again, I'm very, very confident in the work we've done, our focus moving forward, but do want to spend a second talking about our corrective action plan. When I was before you in early August, you asked two things of me. You asked, one, we need a plan. And then two, you said, we need to know that you're actually going to stick to the plan. Over the last month, I've attempted to deliver on both of those requests to you. First and foremost, submitted a corrective action plan on August 26th, as I promised I would do for you, which was detailed, measurable, and I think most importantly, doable. As you can imagine, there's tremendous conversation when you're under scrutiny about should you stick to your guns, not change anything, or should you throw the baby out in the bathwater. And I think we found the right balance of what we need to do to retain who we are and the success we've seen, but at the same time, look at our results, look at where we are, and realize how we've always done things may not be the best way to do things. So with that in mind, provided that plan, I know the staff has concluded that it is a sufficient bridge between our petition and reality to allow us to meet the requirements for renewal. But I also want to highlight for you, since that plan was submitted 3 weeks ago, we have taken measurable steps to implement that plan, whether it's amending our LCAP to align with comments made in the notice to cure, changing contracts with our current back office provider, again, to fill gaps that were identified through this process. May I continue?
Depends on whether my colleagues would like you to continue. I think that we probably should. So I hear yeses. I'll be brief. Thank you. We've also, our board for the St. Hope Public Schools has amended their bylaws to put further constraints on who may serve on the board to avoid even an apparent conflict of interest. We've appointed a new board chair and vice chair to lead our board. We've required our back office service provider to immediately retain new lead financial officer to guide the team and to bring on additional expertise in school finance. Finally, we've contracted with our auditors to review everything that was provided in the notice to cure and the report from the audit firm that Sac City Unified had so that we can have a solid review of what was found and make some decisions as to if we've made progress on the issues that were identified. So that work has been completed. We've got more to do, but wanted to share with you what we have in fact done. I will be brief. We are committed to strengthening our financial reporting, fully detailed in our corrective action plan, and I think by some of what we've identified with the work of our back office provider, I'm only going to see good things happen. Finally, as Ms. Goldman indicated, happy to work with you as to what next steps should be. I appreciate the time and attention and the deliberateness
the real focus you've had in looking at our petition. I know you have a hard job to do, and I respectfully request that you renew the charter for PS7 for an additional 5 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Aruda. Because we're not quite done, are there any public comments, Ms. Kangas?
We have 7. The first speaker is Edie Park, followed by Ramiro Arias, followed by Jay Martinez.
Okay, just know that the time limit for each of these speakers is 2 minutes, but there's 7 of you, that's 14, and we have 15 minutes. So, first up, mic is yours.
Good evening, Board President, members, and Superintendent. My name is Edie Park, and I'm in my senior year at Sac High. I and many others, regardless of how long we've been here, know that there's a unique sense of community. The faculty, staff, and students alike work hard to create a welcoming and safe environment for everyone. The bonds built at these schools are true and enduring. What sticks out to me the most about Sac High is the opportunities that they provide for their students. Sac High is one of the only schools that offers dual enrollment classes, and I can say confidently that everyone taking them is thankful. It allows us to get ahead in our college education, and it's building our lifelong skills. Additionally, we're presented with many rewarding programs outside of school. We're constantly being offered chances to experiment in different fields. I learned a great deal at my summer internship at UC Davis through Sac High and believe it was the most impactful experience of my high school career yet. Without Sac High and its faculty that made it happen, I would not be as prepared for college applications, nor would I be as sure of what career path I would like to follow in the future. Sac High not only has given me an incredibly joyful past 3 years, but has also prepared me for college and life as an adult in the workforce. I ask that you all please vote to renew our charter status so that Sac High can continue developing prepared and well-rounded students. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to clarify that this is for the PS7 school charter. And so the public comment should be for PS7. And then when we get to Sac High, then we'll be doing public comments for Sac High. So anyone up there have any comments public for PS7? Okay, thank you.
Hi. I'd like to first apologize because I will be reading off my phone, but I felt it was important for me to choose the right words, but I hope it comes off sincere. I'm sorry for not looking you in your eyes. My name is Jacob Hawkins. I teach 3rd grade ELA at St. Hope Elementary. I want to thank the board president, board members, and superintendent for their time and thoughtful consideration on this renewal. As a young teacher, I feel absolutely gracious and lucky to have found PS7. The support I have felt while working my way through the education field has been robust and has come from all levels of St. Hope. The administration team has curated the environment that making and asking questions is not only safe, but encouraged. And to a new teacher, that's everything. I've been inspired by the work I have seen everyone do to ensure that this renewal goes through. I've been inspired by the work, and I want to thank everybody for their guidance. The new materials that we've been given in the classroom has made a huge impact, not only on myself as a new and more passionate than experienced teacher, but on my scholars. And I know a few of them are here today, and they have been absolutely amazing when it comes to this new curriculum, and they really are inspired. The goal for all of us to make sure that our scholars are prepared, not only for college, but to be successful through and past college, is felt immediately when they walk onto our campus. I'd like to thank not only my co-teachers because of their help, but also the administration because they have made it so I'm able to ask them a question and feel like I'm the most important person in the room. And with your thoughtful consideration, I really hope you guys choose yes to renew our charter. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Beth Simonton.
Hello. Good evening, Board President, board members, and also Superintendent. I'm really excited to be here and to speak. I'm a little nervous, but I'd like to start off by thanking you for giving me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Beth Simonton, and I am a transitional kindergarten teacher at PS7 Elementary. I've had the privilege, and I say that wholeheartedly, privilege of teaching at this school for 4 years, and over those years, I've grown to really, really love what I do. I have an administration team that supports me in any way possible that I may need, from supplies to curriculum, and even to help me when I may just need to talk through something. The curriculum, as Mr. Hawkins said earlier, is amazing. I love it. I stand by it. I teach TK. They're 4 and 5. We're 4 turning 5, so it's something that they need, obviously, forever. And, you know, it's a curriculum that I wholeheartedly stand by. Most importantly, I feel valued and I feel appreciated at my job. I also have scholars and family that I have forged connections with over the years that make my job all the worth it. Sorry. I love my families, and I feel like I'm finally in a job that matters and that is really changing lives and making positive memories. Growing up, that's all that I ever wanted to do. I wanted to make a difference in young lives, and I wanted to make sure that when they were in school, they had positive situations and they had positive experiences. I love my scholars, and I want nothing but the very best for them. With that said, it is my hope that you will renew the charter and say yes today. We owe it to the scholars who are truly a family to all of us. We love them and know that they are growing, succeeding, and taking care of at PS7. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
The final speaker for 10-1 is Vanessa Lopez.
Good evening, Board President, Superintendent, and board members. My name is Vanessa Lopez, and I am currently a Dean of Students at PS7 Middle School. I have been with St. Hope Public Schools since 2018. With St. Hope, I have been able to grow professionally in the educational field. I first joined as the after-school program manager that served PS7 Middle School and Oak Park Prep. I then managed the after-school program at both of those campuses and the elementary school campus. From there, I decided to join the SCOE teaching program, and I taught 4th grade ELA for 3 years. Last year, I had the opportunity to return to the middle school campus as a Dean of Culture and Operations, as well as becoming the athletic director and interim assistant principal. St. Hope has provided me with the strong mentors and leaders that I can depend on to help guide me through my professional journey. At PS7, we hold our scholars to high expectations, both academically and behaviorally. They know the importance of working hard, trying their best, and holding themselves accountable. We teach the importance of being respectful and responsible on a daily basis. Our families at St. Hope are very involved and appreciate all that we offer our scholars, especially the extracurricular activities such as tutoring, clubs, sports, and after-school programs. It's a rewarding experience to be able to give back to the community I was born and raised in. My family fully trusts and supports the mission and vision of St. Hope Public Schools. I currently have 6 nieces and nephews that are scholars across all 3 campuses. Jacob and Sosina at the elementary, Jai at the middle school, Elena and Alina and Miguel are all at the high school. It has been impressive to see their growth over the years, and we are fully invested in their progress with St. Hope. In order to continue our mission and vision, we need you all to please vote to renew our charter tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I believe
We have one more speaker, Mo Kashmiri.
Hello, Mo Kashmiri. I'm a parent of a student at Sutter Middle School. I'm speaking on my own behalf, not on behalf of SEIU. I'm wearing my parent hat at the moment. I appreciate the board's oversight of St. Hope. We appreciate that you are, looking into it and making sure that they're held accountable as well. I wanted to throw out the idea of maybe making St. Hope a dependent charter, which might be a way of a way of ensuring more oversight and allowing it a way to keep it open. I do think that there's other ways of using the space that they've been given that maybe, maybe this isn't maybe their current location isn't the best location for a school of 300 something, students. We know that there's been multiple media reports about the practices at St. Hope and the Sacramento Bee. I would encourage this board to give them some vigorous oversight. And again, I think changing to a dependent charter model might be a way to achieve a win-win for everybody. Encourage this board to look very closely at their charter renewal and do your due diligence. Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all be nice, be nice, be nice. Okay, we treat everyone with kindness. I'm going to say that one time and one time only. Okay, moving on. We're going to now have board discussion, and I would love to hear from all of my colleagues before we entertain a motion. Robust conversation, y'all. Hearing none. I'm going to move to adopt Resolution 3439 to approve the renewal petition. May I have a second? Oh, did you have something? Oh, Tara, you hit the button and everything.
I did.
I'm not going to move yet. We're going to let Ms. Jean talk.
I've been doing a lot of processing and a lot of thinking. I really appreciate the 1,000 pages that we got to peruse of the plan. I really appreciate the district's very careful vetting and process and color coding and all of the layers that made it so that processing these many, many words and many, many actions was a lot easier than I was anticipating, and I appreciated that. I really appreciate that there are, at this time, very direct responses to every piece of the concerns that have been brought forward. It has completely warmed my heart to hear all the amazing stories, all the amazing successes of Sac-High, of PS7 as well, and the programs that these schools are offering. I would like to see us building a better partnership. Thinking about how this came to us in May, and then it's been this whirlwind of a few months, and wanting to make sure, how do we put things into place to ensure that there are annual reports, maybe every 6 months, that there are check-ins and consistency. That way, none of us are caught off guard as things are coming up, and we're able to solve problems together. So I also would really love to see continued growth on those plans, because we're in the first month or two of the implementation. And so I'm in a place of wanting of moving a conditional approval if we're in a place to officially move. Because I'd like to see those conditions continually be reported on and built on and moved on over the next 5 years so that we can be confident in the partnership that we're building together. So I don't know if you're ready for an official movement. I was going to wait until others
No, we're
had talked.
not, because
Okay.
I didn't see your name.
Okay.
So, still not entertaining any motions. We're going to do it that way. Mr. Rhodes?
I just have a quick question. Amanda, I know you had a chart there that said what on the conditional approval and what that would look like. Can you go back to that and explain that to the board?
So what I want to make sure I say it right. So I've got Leslie here to stop me if I say it wrong from F3. So to be clear, it's an approval with conditions, which is actually a different thing, but I just want to make sure we're clear on that.
Thank you for that.
Which means that it is approved. I will send the paperwork to CDE. It is approved. It's not like we are waiting on an approval, but we're saying that's an approval with the expectation that these things will be done. So the things that we have suggested, should the board wish to go this direction, number one is enter into an operational MOU. That's something that we say with everybody because that's normal. Full implementation of their corrective action plan, which of course they're intending to do and we're expecting of them. Submission of fully aligned fiscal documents. I think we were in a position where we weren't able to review the fiscal position as well as we could have, and a lot of that had to do with what led us to the corrective action plan. And so my feeling is that I want to give them the time to do the steps in their corrective action plan, get those pieces in order before they give us new documentation, because there's no point in giving us documentation that has the same situation. And then the two other things that we noticed in the review of the petition and the review of the data is just that we have seen both a dip in academic performance recently and a high rate of suspension, and we would like to see those addressed. And so those would be the things that we would encourage to have as suggestions there, as conditions there. The board could choose some of them, the board could choose none of them, the board could choose all of them. And we have them written out in more fancy language should you all need it.
And if I could add as well, to speak to Member Jane's comments about annual reports or periodic reporting, that can all be integrated into an operational MOU. If there are specific things that the board wishes to see integrated into that for the terms and conditions, we can certainly look at those items and see if they would fit appropriately within an MOU negotiated between the parties.
And, okay, so with all of these, and I'm kind of riffing off of what Member Jeans was saying, but we're gonna wait 1 second. Oh, we're back. All right. So, kind of riffing off what Member Jean says, process would be if the board were to try to look at something with a approval with conditions, we would basically be going into an MOU with St. Hope and requesting further documentation or further activity around these items. Okay.
But we could either build some of those items into the MOU itself that would need to be negotiated before they begin their next renewal term on July 1st, 2025, or we could build in specific conditions into the resolution, the draft resolution that is before you, with corresponding deadlines that need to be met. So it would be in addition to an MOU, but those other items that Ms. Goldman just spoke to could be their own discrete conditions within that resolution.
And this is my last question, and only for clarity. So we have 2 St. Hope schools that are coming to us today, and 1 organization. So for my colleagues and just clarity, would it make any sense for us to approve 1 school with no conditions and then other one with conditions while being the same organization? Can you provide clarity for our board on that?
So they have the same parent organization, but from every other perspective, they are 2 entities. They are 2 local education agencies. They are 2 charters. We know them as a family of schools.
Yes.
But they do not, in any of the terms that matter legally, they do not, that in this case, they are not. So it is okay to take separate action. I mean, you have to take separate action, but it is okay to take different action.
Okay, and I hope that these questions provided clarity to my colleagues and to the public at the same time. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. And thank you for bringing this slide back up, because I was trying to process the 4 key areas as I was thinking about conditions that I would love to hear a couple of reports a year on. The first one was the governance. And I'm not seeing anything up there on governance aside from just full implementation of the plan. The next one is fiduciary, which I do see the aligned fiscal documents, which is significant. I'd also love to hear more specifics about the generally accepted accounting practices and see how that's continuing to grow and build. For employees, I don't see anything up there specifically about employees aside from, again, the corrective action plan. So they talked a lot, and thank you, Lisa, for talking a lot about the professional development and the commitment to hiring highly qualified educators that are fully credentialed. And then the last one would be that programmatic, and programmatic's just kind of broad, but looking at our curriculum adoption cycle, ensuring that the curriculum is being adopted and being provided, the suspension and expulsion policies around SPED, and that there is academic performance and suspension rates, et cetera. So those were the things that were on my mind. And it's in line with what you said, but I think there's a couple of things that I would love to see in reports to us on an annual basis.
Mr. Singh?
All right. Speaking to my colleagues, I think for me, the way I see it, I want to clarify a yes with conditions, still a yes. So when I hear conversations around partnership and building and creating more unity with the groups that we work with, I see this as an opportunity from my perspective. That this will allow us to have a stronger relationship. This will allow us to build relationships, build partnerships, while also maintaining the ability for St. Hope to continue serving the community that it so rightfully does and is so important to do. So my thoughts are leaning towards this as I get more clarity and information. So whenever we get to that point of past that discussion, I would love to know how the motion is going to be made.
That's a good question. Okay, so let me just see if I understand this and make sure that we all kind of get this, because this is kind of how I roll. So if we are considering, and Amanda, you can chime in whenever, sorry. If we are considering renewal, we have to look at the documents in our book that are stating one way or the other or absolutely not. And so I guess I'm going off of the information that we got from the actions from PS7 in this case. And so some of our concerns are not necessarily governance at all. It's being able to track the changes that they've stated they would make. Correct? You can just turn your mic on.
When you say concerns around governance, I do have concerns around their governance practices, and it looks like they are in their plan, they are making changes to those, but I'd love to see those continue. There's been some conflicts of interest, an open selection, price laws. They need to have public records with their bylaws, agendas, and minutes. I mean, there's a lot of layers here, the things that we are held to as well as a board. And these are public monies being spent on public good of students' education, and those things need to be in place. So governance is super important to me, so I didn't know what you meant by not governance.
That's why I just turned my mic on and start talking.
Excellent.
So, but what it sounds like is there's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to feel comfortable with, any educator of our children being managed properly, yes, PS7 may say, yes, we're going to do this. But we're like, how do we know you're doing it? What's our timeline for when we are going to get reports? Because Tara's saying it'd be cool if we got 2 reports annually to say what's happening.
So there's a couple things. So one is that definitely what the practice is as of this year, right, is that in July you got the first year of reports, and it speaks to all of those pieces, right? It speaks to governance in more detail. It speaks to fiscal in more detail. So, for example, the generally accepted accounting practices, the documents we look at, if they don't show those, that's a thing that we say, we have questions, we have concerns. Where the delay happened is that, it was year 1. Like, I don't even know what, it was sort of, it's the first, you don't know the first time, like, is this a pattern? Is this a one-time thing, right? That's where we were at. So that is definitely something every year for sure. Can we do a mid-year check on things? Yes. Do I think I can do it for all 16 schools? Frankly, probably not yet, but maybe eventually, and we can get there and we can talk about what that looks like. But certainly a 6-month, this is where we're at on these action steps, definitely that's manageable, for sure.
If I may, I have no intention of all 16 schools. To me, this is a yes with conditions. And part of those conditions are making sure that we're informed and not caught. And, in May, as things were coming to me, I felt caught by surprise and it felt rushed. And I really want to avoid that. It's not fair to the students. It's not fair to the staff. It's not fair to us. And we need to be better. So to me, having a report in the middle of the year and at the summer just makes sense for the conditions.
Definitely doable.
Mr. Singh? No? Ms. Villa?
And I just want to clarify, so if we decide, I'm talking to board members here, that this is approval with conditions, these types of items can be built in the MOU, so we can have those discussions and then build out from that. Is that correct, that you all feel the same way, that this will be a part of the MOU? Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Mr. Kayada?
So I'm really enjoying the conversation, and I'm feeling, I think, the way the board is starting to lean, which is approval with conditions. When I approached this, and I've been very clear, I don't know where Superintendent Ruda went, but I didn't think it would be fair for us to bring in information out of left field. We had to be clear as a governing board. This is what we expect of you to get the renewal, and if you achieve that, then you will get the renewal. It's not to say that we don't acknowledge that there's some history here that's troubling, or that there are concerns that do remain today, but it's about working together to improve the schools and our oversight over the schools. And most importantly, to continue offering educational options for the Black students that are not being met with many of our schools that we've well acknowledged here from the dais. And I would just like to acknowledge that I do really appreciate the St. Hope's response to the notice to cure. And again, this is for PS7 and Sac High. Like one of the public comments said, I do think we need to get to a rigorous oversight role. And I think that's what we've described here. And that's what we've kind of laid the seed for a future. We're not going to not hear about this again for the next 5 years. So when I look at approval with conditions, I would like them to be formalized. And I believe, Amanda, you said, we can put that in either the MOU or the resolution, whichever way works best to ensure that we actually can ensure compliance, because we've heard amazing words and I believe there is a true commitment, but I want to make sure that that's not gone, 2 weeks from now and we hear about it again in 5 years, because that to me would be, we would have done all this public process with, news here and all these kids having to show up on a school night because we're trying to fix this thing and we want to make sure we actually commit to that. So those are my comments, and I believe they are in line with what I've been hearing. So thank you.
I'm so glad you feel heard, Mr. Kayada. So let me see if I get this, because I just keep asking questions. So if we look at the resolution to approve, whether we're doing it with conditions, without conditions, huh? Still an approval. Right, and with that being the understanding, we are looking, so here's my thing. There's a whereas here on, say, the approved renewal that says the governing board of a school district shall not deny a petition unless it makes written factual findings. We're not denying it, maybe, but right now, we're not talking about denying. We're only talking about whether we're going to approve, yes, outright, or yes with conditions. So there are these words that say PS7, in this case it says, the petitioners, PS7, are demonstrably unlikely to successfully implement the program set forth in the petition. The answer that we received from PS7 doesn't necessarily say that PS7 is not going to successfully implement, but that's what we're asking for, is for us to be able to, I guess, enter into conversations about whether these things can be done. And I'm kind of saying it in plain old English instead of legalese, so I understand this.
So thank you to the legislature for really confusing language in the law. So the law says that you can deny if the school is demonstrably unlikely to do the thing they said they were going to do. What our response is no, they are not unlikely. So the legislature put us in a lovely double negative situation, which essentially means that we believe in our staff report that yes, with what they have laid out in the petition, in conjunction with their corrective action plan, we believe that they are likely to be able to implement the thing that they said they're going to do, run their school the way they said they're going to run it. So either the approval or the approval with conditions says that, yes, we believe that they are likely to implement their program. They're likely to do what they said they're going to do.
And the willingness of PS7 at this time to say we're already willing to open our books and have continuing conversations with Sacramento City Unified School District is something maybe not guaranteed, but promised. But in order for us to solidify that for some of my colleagues to make sure that it's written somewhere to specifically say at this date, these books will be open. PS7 will definitely say, okay, and let's talk about it. And if there are issues, then we'll work through those and we'll continue to move forward. Okay? Okay. Sorry. If it's not in English, I just start asking questions. So, because we know that there is, they're at least minimally meeting standards. But there are some concerns outside of the education of the students that are a lot of major grown-up concerns that we need to make sure is written. So,
yes.
Now I need an explanation of how an MOU works. Because people throw, huh? Okay, well, this is change, and we're making an effort, and we're asking questions in plain English so that we can make sure that if we do whatever we're going to do tonight, that it's clear to us as well as you. So we're going to, if it comes down to an MOU, we're asking for it as a condition. We better be ready to sign this, right? Dear board colleagues. Okay. So, I mean, what is it? Just give me some basic steps as to what an MOU looks like.
Yes. So there's an MOU either way, right? A straight approval, there's still an operational MOU. An operational MOU says, you're going to pay us your bills at this time, and we're going to send this document on this date. Like, some of that is, everybody has it.
Like we've done
with every other time, right?
Okay.
We just don't have them right now because they're all from 8 years ago, and we have to renew them.
Okay.
If we wanted to build conditions into that MOU, what we could put, it could be as simple as in that MOU, St. Hope will meet their corrective action plan in way A, B, and C by date A, B, C, and that would be in the MOU.
So what happens if they don't meet them at the time that we say they need to be met?
So that is when we come back, right? And we don't come back we come back a couple times and we say, okay, we're letting you know, like you said you were going to do this, you haven't done this, right? Then we come back to this conversation, which is, do you still get to be around? Do you still get to be a school, right? It doesn't have to wait 5 years, right? It's nothing is ever that simple, but it really raises the stakes a little bit, right, on those actions.
Okay. So the dates, the timeline is what offers consequences for coming back, and it'll be another public hearing that we have or no?
It would be public, whether it's a formal public hearing or an information item or an action item. That's what the lawyer tells me.
Okay. So the only thing it sounds like, just at some point, I'm going to let Mr. Singh talk again, but because like the documents I see don't have the specific conditions because we are the people who are supposed to come up with said conditions.
And we have a draft of them if that would be helpful to you.
That would be significantly helpful. Okay. So can we take a moment to...
If you would like Leslie to read them, she can do that.
Would you like me to read them? Oh, okay. There's a paraphrased version on the slide, but we have some sample conditions that align with these bullet points and that are reflected as well in the staff report. So there are no surprises. And one of them is already built into both the straight approval resolution as well as the approval with conditions resolution sample that you have before you. There are 4 more that we had identified, and I'd be happy to read them out so that we have a clear record of those, if that would be helpful to you all.
Could you hold on a sec while I make sure I grab the right paper? because I'm just that person. This is so much fun. You need it too. I just feel like what I feel like I did was I tore it out because it was important, and then I lost it. I'm gonna take it from the student board member, which I probably shouldn't be, but okay. So the next steps and suggestions. So this is me kind of talking to my colleagues here. Operational MOU is something that we obviously have to do. Yay! Inside that operational MOU, there's going to be additional suggestions. So right now, the corrective implementation, the corrective action plan that they've proposed is something that's been reviewed, and that is accepted with the exception of the conditions that we are asking. And so this corrective implementation plan, it will be written into the MOU what the specific review dates are before we get to May 1st of 2025. Okay. And then there's still going to be documents that have to be turned in. That's obviously written into that operational MOU. Are there any conditions specific to those that anyone wants to add? This is submission of aligned fiscal documents. Mr. Singh.
So from my understanding, and I know that superintendent over at St. Hope has offered to work with us, and I know that's a beautiful offer, and we want to take you up on that. So I think there's an understanding that if an MOU is being drafted, we can actually have our superintendent, we can direct our superintendent, from my understanding, to meet with you, and you all can work together on that MOU, and I'd prefer that so you guys can have those conversations. I just want to have an understanding if our board would be okay with that, so that they can actually work directly, given whatever vote we take. If that's where we head, then I want the superintendents, or I want us to give them the authority to work together and meet.
Can I just answer that? I was in the queue speaking something similar to that. I like that we have here as a next steps and suggestions, but to me, that is not what I want to see. So thank you, Member Singh, for bringing that. I think that should be a conversation that we have and that's developed and worked through as an MOU is before we just, yes. So I'm just agreeing with what you're saying because I need to see more than that.
Yes, Mr. Singh. No, not yet. Okay. Okay, so, and what I'm hearing is somebody says, Jamie's like, maybe we don't need to throw this at the superintendent quite yet because we still need to set the conditions in which Madam Superintendent is going to follow.
That's not what Jamie said. No, that's not what I said.
That's why we're talking.
No, I just said that the next steps and suggestions that I see here, to me, are not enough of what I need to see broken down. Mm-hmm. And before we sign an MOU, like Member Singh had suggested, that we do need to have this partnership and a conversation on a more detailed, like we stated, Member Singh had stated, with dates for a solidified and solid MOU that both parties can work together off of.
Okay.
Member Singh, go ahead.
And I just, having this conversation just back and forth to her.
So how do we do that right now?
By approving, if we make a motion to approve, for example, I'm just going to give an example, I'm not saying this is the motion. If we move to approve with conditions, then we're able to set out the conditions, and then we can actually ask superintendent to then meet with the superintendent of St. Hope to work on an MOU based on the conditions that we set forth through this approval. So if we say yes with conditions, it lays out conditions, and then we're allowing our superintendents to work together and meet and work on an MOU with the understanding of what the conditions are that have been laid out, which would be provided to us in detail beyond the bullet points that are here if we ask you to list them out.
And your sample resolution, the middle one, basically says exactly that already.
Hold on. Am I reading these or no? I know you guys are eager to move forward, but until I understand, I can't do quite that. And I think it's important for me to make sure I kind of understand. So where in the sample document does it say?
So I wish I put page numbers, note to self. The second sample resolution, the one that says resolution to conditionally approve, if you go all the way to the last page of that, it says number 5, the board hereby approves the renewal, blah, 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 and then there's an A, and it says, it talks about the memorandum of understanding, and then we would ignore the blanks. Like, we don't need the blanks, because the memorandum of understanding would capture that.
District staff and the charter school shall negotiate a memorandum of understanding, an MOU, addressing the respective rights and obligations of the parties consistent with the authorizer charter relationship, which shall be approved by the respective governing boards of the parties prior to the commencement. So approve with conditions. Madam Superintendent and Madam Superintendent work together to work those out. They come back to us, and then we adopt those.
The MOU.
Okay. All right. Now, y'all know, I'm not the perfect at learning stuff, but that makes sense. So I think at this point, I don't need to ask any more questions, but this was just PS7. I think I'm well rehearsed for what's going to happen when we get to Sac High. So, all right. So at this point, it does sound, and I don't think we can call for a consensus up here before we do that, Madam Counsel. So just listening to my colleagues, it sounds like I'm gonna make the motion, but I'm hoping that we have the detailed notes as to what the motion is to approve conditionally the charter. I want to hear all that we had first, if we have it all. So, Mr. Singh, if you have it all, the mic is yours. I did ask Madam Counsel because it might be easier.
I mean, I'm happy to make a yes with conditions. I just want to make sure that you all can list out the conditions in detail as we make the motion. If you say it, then we can actually say, yes, we are approving with conditions, and you can actually state the conditions so everybody's aware that this is a yes. And then you can list out the conditions that you've listed here in a little bit more detail.
If all you say is that the condition is that to enter into an operational MOU that addresses the items discussed, we can go from there.
I will make a motion of approval to enter into an operational MOU to work on these.
And to just to make sure, does our legal counsel have some of the jotting downs of what it was we had?
I do.
Okay, so with that, yes, I will second your motion, Mr. Singh.
Thank you.
Could I make one clarification? So the action of the board tonight will be to adopt resolution number 3439 to approve the PS7 renewal petition with conditions. I just want to make sure that that's clear. So it's not just simply a yes vote, it's to adopt the resolution that is before you. And then that will be finalized with those yellow placeholders removed for signature, if it carries.
It's a yes.
So it's a resolution with teeth, like we've never been able to create before. Fantastic. And that's very specific language that makes sense to me. So.
And for board members, it's the second draft resolution in your packet.
Okay. Okay. So whatever Mr. Singh said made sense to me with your clarification, and knowing that information is going to get moved on, then I will second that. And we're going to do student preferential votes. Aye.
Member Kayada.
Aye.
Member Jean.
Aye.
Member Phillips.
Aye.
Member Rhodes.
Aye.
Member Singh.
Aye.
Member Villa.
Aye.
So moved.
Okay. That was St. Hope. Okay, it's really complicated.
It's really complicated.
Okay, we're just gonna give it a second.
It's really complicated. It's
Okay.
not, it just is what it is. Again, thank you, legislature.
I'm just gonna give it a second. And so just making sure that the public knows, being an elected official who represents the community, frequently, we don't 100% understand what some of this mumbo jumbo is either. And so the questions that I'm asking, not are just because I don't know, because it's hard for me, but it's also so that you guys understand in plain language, so that you can also come back and hold us accountable of what we're asking to hold you accountable for. Does that make sense? Okay. So, we're going to move on to item 10.2. This is a determination hearing for the charter renewal for Sacramento Charter High. So we're going to open and convene. Normally people gavel in for this, but I'm okay. We will open and convene a public hearing on the petition that was submitted to the district to renew the Sacramento Charter High School charter for a 5-year term beginning on July 1, 2025 and ending on June 30, 2030. This public hearing will follow the same procedures and format as the public hearing on the St. Hope Public School 7 renewal petition. Therefore, to avoid repeating the summary of the procedures, we will move forward with district staff and representatives of Sacramento Charter High School given equal time and procedures to address the staff renewal report that was prepared for this renewal petition and posted at least 15 days in advance of this public hearing. You will each receive a maximum of 7.5 minutes to address the board. Ms. Goldman, please feel free to proceed.
All right, so thank you. Yes, we are here for the determination hearing for charter renewal for Sacramento Charter High School. I will be saying many of the same things over again. It is very much the same. We recognize that providing students with choice in their education is part of our core beliefs and guiding principles. Our process tonight, we will have equal time for both the district and the charter to speak. We'll have time for public comment. We'll have board question and discussion, and the board will need to take action tonight on one of the 3 possible provided resolutions, which again will be on that final slide for your review. Again, the timeline, the St. Hope Public Schools, Sacramento Charter High School submitted their renewal petition on June 28th of 2024. We had a series of things that happened between now and then, but here we are on September 19th, less than 90 days after that, so we are within the timelines required by law. Again, we're looking at the same big ideas where we are asking our charters to take a little bit of flexibility and create some innovation and achievement, and with that, we hold them to some accountability. Part of what we're doing here tonight is providing that accountability and sort of helping define that line between like how much flexibility we want to see from our schools. We have the charter, which is their promise or their roadmap for how they will serve students. We have their data and their records of how they've done over their past term. And we have always the efforts of continuous improvement and reflection so that we can always be moving forward and improving. And with that, we keep our students at the center of that triangle. I was supported in my work of reviewing the petition and the corrective action plan by a review team full of folks who have done this work for many years longer than me, and I feel very excited to have them at my back. The state of California puts all charter schools in one of 3 tiers based on their academic data, the academic data provided on the California State Dashboard. Sacramento Charter High School has been placed in the middle tier by the California Department of Education, which means that the board has a presumption of renewal unless the school is unable to implement its program due to fiscal or governance concerns, is not serving all students who wish to attend, or has failed to meet sufficient progress towards meeting standards that provide a benefit to students, and closure is in the best interest of those students, and that decision puts greater weight to the academic performance of those students. Sacramento Charter High School has met all of the requirements for renewal for a middle performance school. They have submitted verified data. They have submitted a comprehensive petition. Their petition describes the sound educational program. The school does not appear unlikely to implement their program with their corrective action plan in place, and the school appears to be serving all students who wish to attend. Again, in my color coding here, the yellow are things that are part of their corrective action plan, and so to just show that yes, they've met those criteria, but in my opinion and in the review team's opinion, in conjunction with their corrective action plan. So again, we start with the charter. Yes, it meets petition requirements. We look at their records of their data. They have a historically strong outcomes. Yes, we've had a bad year or two recently, but historically very strong outcomes. And with their corrective action plan, they're responding to concerns and making continuous improvement efforts. So with that, based on Sacramento Charter High School's designation in a middle performing school, we find that they collectively meet the minimum legal standards to qualify for the approval of the requested 5-year term. As we talked about in the previous one, if the board should wish to approve with conditions, we can write those conditions into an MOU, but these are the same ideas that we would likely include in that MOU. With that, I'm going to hand things over to Sacramento Charter High School, and I will come back to put the last slide up after they speak.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, board. And those couple of extra minutes I took when I was the superintendent for PS7, I'm going to give back, I promise. So quickly, want to highlight Sac High. I know we've talked a lot about it. You know a lot about it. Initially authorized in 2003. Again, our 22nd year of operation, our 4th charter renewal. Do want to share with you that we recently completed the year-long WASC accreditation process, was awarded their highest level of accreditation 6 years through June 30th, 2030. Happy to highlight that, and really want to highlight last week we had our annual HBCU fair. Literally 50 or so seniors left the fair with 158 acceptances into college. This is a crazy pride point. Literally 3 students left the fair with full rides, all tuition and board paid. Just as somebody who loves kids, wouldn't you love to send your child to school in the morning and they come back with the equivalent of $120,000 at the end of the day? Amazing. So again, as Ms. Goldman highlighted, Sac High, like PS7, is in the middle tier, presumptive 5-year renewal. Again, the education program, we appreciate the staff looking at it, that it was sound, meets the renewal criteria, again, like PS7. The report highlights what you see, what you know, is we serve students who typically identify as Black, Hispanic, Latinx, or who've got the label of socioeconomically disadvantaged, again, traditionally underserved, put on them. And when you look at us and you look at us by subgroups, as the state calls them, we rock it. We are, as the board president said, fire. Look at our graduation rates. Look at our acceptances into UC, CSUs, our 4-year colleges, who's actually going. I get it. Unlike PS7, where we test annually from 3rd to 8th grade, we only test 11th grade across California. It is a little bit more fickle. So you do see some ups and downs, and we see some years where we've gone whoop, and then we see a year or two where we've gone down. But I really look, when we look at high school, is how are we preparing you to leave the door and enter the world of work, the world of career, the world of college. That is where our success is. And we're particularly pleased, again, that the staff concluded that we seem likely that we're going to implement a sound education program as we move forward. I'm going to save the breath. This is the same slide we saw with PS7, because again, while we are St. Hope, and we are technically 2 legal entities for purposes of charter renewal, we're St. Hope, right? We are family, we are one. These are the same commitments I've made in letters dated August 26th to the superintendent this week, the 19th, to reiterate, we're serious about implementing and we're serious about meeting. I'm gonna end it right here by simply saying thank you for the time, the diligence, and yes, the questions to help us understand what we're doing moving forward, and I'm taking it for PS7 and hopefully for Sac High as a yes. We still have work to do. It's been implicit in your comments, and I know, and I've tried to be explicit about it. I think we've all learned a lot through self-reflection in this process. I don't think anybody is saying this is the way it should be done or we want to do it again. Unfortunately, it's been 8 years since we have been before you. Hopefully we will walk out, I believe we will walk out better, each of us, both sides, as authorizer and school. And so again, I respectfully request that you approve the charter for Sac High for an additional 5 years. Thank you very much for your time.
Do we have any public comments?
We have 6 for this item. First is Damian Harmony, followed by Edie Park, and then Ramiro Arias.
Okay, so please remember that this is for Sac High and that you have 2 minutes.
All right. As a board, you all have had to spend a lot of energy simply righting the ship and cleaning up the mess of the previous 2 superintendents and the predations of land developer influence turned board members. Lisa Allen is quite likely going to be the first superintendent in my career whose work actually justifies her salary. Thank you all for righting the ship and still working hard to continue to undo a mountain of damage. I'm an historian, and I want to offer you the historical perspective to encourage you to continue doing the good and hard work. In 2003, this district's board at the time and superintendent had thoroughly failed Sac High's students and parents. 6 principals in 5 years were a big part of that. Sac High was emblematic of this district's willingness to abandon their students, parents, and teachers instead of fixing its house. 4 superintendents and dozens of board members ago, the superintendent and board washed their hands of their failures and leadership because it was easier to turn a blind eye to a man's multiple non-disclosure agreements and because it was easier to abandon rather than repair. The board and superintendent were not thorough. However, I also fully acknowledge that then is not now. What I want to tell you on mic right now is this: it looks like you are set to do better than prior administrations have done. I'm sorry that it falls to y'all to make the hard choices that will clean up all the messes, but I'm also very glad that it is this board. Good people seem to attract these kinds of dilemmas. 3 renewals came too easily under school boards that were far less thorough. It sounds like you are ready to make your determination with more thoroughness and diligence than your predecessors did. And I wanted to come down today and tell you face to face that I applaud you for that. Thank you.
Next speaker is Edie Park.
All yours, Ms. Park.
Hello again, board president, superintendent, and members. Once again, my name is Edie Park, and I'm in my senior year at Sac High. I and many others, regardless of how long we've been here, know that there's a unique sense of community. The faculty, staff, and students alike work hard to create a welcoming and safe environment for everyone. The bonds built at these schools are true and enduring. What sticks out to me the most about Sac High is the opportunities they provide for their students. Sac High is one of the only schools that offers dual enrollment classes, and I can say confidently that everyone taking them is thankful for the opportunity. It allows us to get ahead in our college education and is building our lifelong skills. Additionally, we're presented with many rewarding programs outside of school. We're constantly being offered chances to experiment in different fields. I learned a great deal at my summer internship at UC Davis through Sac High and believe it was the most impactful experience of my high school career yet. Without Sac High and its faculty that made it happen, I would not be as prepared for college applications, nor would I be as sure of what career path I would like to follow in the future. Sac High not only has given me an incredibly joyful past 3 years, but has also prepared me for college and life as an adult in the workforce. I ask that you all please vote to renew our charter status so that Sac High can continue developing prepared and well-rounded students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ramiro Arias.
Good evening, Board President, Board members, Superintendent, and Sacramento City Unified School District staff. Excuse my voice. My name is Ramiro Arias Lomas, and I am currently an 11th grade scholar attending Sacramento High School. I am part of a dual enrollment program in which I receive both high school and college credits through the Panther Pipeline program. I am introduced to college professors and college advisors that not only push us, but strive for us to achieve more. Furthermore, I receive both high school and college credits, which not only help me as a first-generation Hispanic student save money on college tuition, but reduce the time it takes to receive a college degree, which helps me achieve my dream of becoming a criminal defense attorney even more possible. Sacramento High School is great in many aspects, which I would love to elaborate. Although I would like for it to be known that Sacramento High School deserves to be renewed so that dreams such as mine and many other students can be achieved. Thank you.
The next speaker is Jay Martinez.
All yours, Mr. Martinez.
Hi, good evening, board. Hi, I'm Jay Martinez here. I am a Sac High alumni. I was there at 2003 at the inception of St. Hope. And just a little bit about myself, I'm a small business owner in the community. I attended Sac City Unified School District schools, K through 12. And Sac High made a true and substantial impact on my life. A lot of the things that we hear about getting disadvantaged youth, kids, people of color, and getting them to succeed, I was that kid. I was the kid that came from a tough background and had to work my way up. But thanks to Sac High and the great leadership that St. Hope has portrayed throughout that time and its henceforth since has enabled me to achieve my dreams and do well in the workforce. So I think one thing I heard with the board was that I think there was some concern over partnership, I think, with Sac High and the board. So I think as far as the perspective of the public, the leadership has been really great and responsive and very diligent in working with the public and the community as well. So I hope that that gives you some solace in making the decision of renewing the charter there with them. So I hope that that's meaningful. And I think as far as the last thing I'd like to say is that I'm very impressed by the leadership as far as that book. I mean, that's very detailed, very thorough, and I think we have some really great leadership there right now. And so I think there's a lot of potential there to work together, be collaborative, and I feel that spirit with them, and I hope that you feel that spirit as well. And I hope that you can renew this charter, and I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Alice Tapley.
Mike's all yours, ma'am.
Good evening. Wow, 22 years. I have been here from the inception of that very first day that we moved into Sac High. And I am a proud parent of two sons that graduated from Sac High. The first one in 2005, the second one in 2009. And after they graduated, I even volunteered for another 5 years. My kids were telling me, Mom, we're not there anymore. But my commitment to Sac High is just that great. It is not for everyone, but it is for those kids that need Sac High. And I'm here to urge you to please continue this charter. And I think it's great because when we started 22 years ago, there was not a lot of collaboration between the board and Sac High. So to hear that you guys are willing to collaborate, this board and the board of Sac High, the staff of Sac High, that just warms my heart because we didn't have that in the beginning. And it sounds like we have that now. And as I said, I am a proud parent of two students that graduated from Sac High. And I urge you to accept this charter for another 5 years. Thank you.
The final speaker on this item is Alicia Morris.
Good evening, board members and superintendent. Alicia Morris, parent. I stand before you today asking for your yes vote to renew St. Hope charter renewal. There is truly something special, and I would go as far as to say something magical about St. Hope. I'm not sure if any of you have children that went to college, but for me, the joy and pride I felt when moving my goddaughter into Hampton University dorms, then my oldest son into UCLA dorms, then my second son into UC Berkeley, and just recently my daughter to Northern Arizona University. All my children finished with their degree in 4 years, meaning not only were they accepted to these colleges based off their graduation requirements, and in some cases high SAT scores and community service involvement, but they were also well prepared. I need somebody to say well prepared. Well prepared. Well prepared. We are standing here asking for a yes vote because yes means that multiple generations can rinse and repeat. And I'm gonna say that again, rinse and repeat the process. St. Hope has the formula for getting your child to college, the staff to help foster and nurture growth and development, and the resources and community to help promote academic achievement and excellence. A yes means keeping this family community together. A yes means my people, Black, brown, and indifferent, has a chance at truly becoming what these and future scholars desire to become. Lastly, there's only one word we as a community are hoping to hear from each of you tonight. St. Hope, let's say it together 3 times. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for your time.
Speaking of wash, rinse, repeat, are there any public comments?
There are no more public comments.
Okay, so I think we've done that. So now we're going to open it up to board discussion. Again, I want to hear from all of my colleagues before we entertain a motion. And I'm looking at my screen this time, so I hit your buttons so I don't look at a blank screen and then look away. Ms. Jean?
For the sake of time, I will not repeat everything because my sentiments applied to both of these charter applications. The one additional condition that really hit my heart as a high school teacher and really hits my heart considering the week that we've had in this nation around safety on school campuses and the importance of that is I'd love to see a condition around the importance of the high school safety program that needs to be in place so that our students and our staff know what to do in case the unimaginable has to occur. So in addition to the ones I had mentioned previously around governance, fiduciary, programmatic, and employees, I'd like to add something around safety. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Jean. Ms. Chu Griffith?
I'd like to quickly address an article that came out last month in the Sac Bee, which alleged that Sac High athletes received an email implying attendance at the August board meeting was mandatory. Again, I cannot say for sure that this is true or that this was Sac High's intention, but I would still like to reiterate that there is a fine line between representing students' voices and also tokenizing students' voices. And I always want to make sure we're leaning towards representing students' voices. That being said, I in no way want to imply that any students here tonight are representing any opinions that are not their own. And I would like to really thank all the students who came out, especially those of you who spoke just like so eloquently sharing your perspectives. And then switching subjects a bit, despite like all the issues I've seen at Sac High, I think I've been very concerned on things specifically teacher credentials. But I also think it would be dishonest to say that these are Sac High specific issues when these are issues that are being faced really at high schools all across our district. And that being said, I hope that Sac High and SUSD can work forward in a more collaborative approach over the next 5 years to continue the charter, but also improve Sac High as a school. And yeah, I really hope to see in the future less hundreds of pages of documents in the 6 months leading up to the renewal and more constant updates, as my colleague spoke about on PS7.
Thank you. I'm just going to wait. Mr. Singh?
Also, for the sake of time, I think a lot of conversation was had, and much of the discussion we've had around the concerns because of the umbrella conversation, but also specifically reiterating that in the space of a yes with conditions, I want to reiterate for the record that it is still a yes, and we want to figure out how to continue working together. And if we do move forward, I would want to have the same thought process of having our superintendents work together collaboratively and adhere to some of the commentary that we've heard, which is it's an opportunity to work together, but also an opportunity to improve and hopefully improve outcomes on both sides, and especially improve outcomes for our students, which is what we're all trying to achieve and reach. So I don't think we need to repeat a lot of the comments, so I would love to keep it going.
Would any of my other colleagues like to address this in discussion? Okay. I'm just going to request at this point, I see Ms. Jean up again.
If we are ready, I will move Resolution 3440, a resolution to conditionally approve the renewal petition for Sacramento Charter High School.
I'll second it, even though I wanted to make that motion.
Oh, I apologize. Please, I will be your second if you'd like to make that motion.
No, that's perfectly okay, because I understand your passion completely and absolutely for what it is we are doing. Now that I fully understand what it is, I just want to ask our community before we move forward, do you all understand what's happening this evening? Do you understand kind of what we've explained? Like, if you do, can you raise your hand? I feel confident handing in that second. And if there's no further board discussion, then I would like to ask for a student preferential vote and then roll call.
Aye.
Member Kayada? Aye. Member Jean?
Aye.
Member Phillips?
Aye.
Member Rhodes?
Aye.
Member Singh?
Aye.
Member Villa?
Aye.
So moved.
That's what everybody's saying. We're just going to be happy that this is going to take 2 minutes and we're going to be done.
We're going to take a 3-minute break.
In a 3-minute break. Oh, I thought he said 3 and I was...
5 minutes.
I already did the hard work.
All right, we are back. And we are now on item 10.3 with a quorum. Public hearing and approval of Resolution 3438, compliance with the pupil textbook and instructional materials incentive program.
All right, good evening, everyone. That is a hard act to follow. We've been told a few times that we should expect an applause as well, so we'll see how it goes. Erin Finley, Assistant Superintendent, Curriculum and Instruction, and I'm joined here this evening by our incredible District Librarian, Tasha Weatherall, and we are here to share with you the results of what people call Williams Review, which is our instructional materials sufficiency report this evening. There it is. I am going to hand it over to Tasha, but before I do that, I just want to say a few words about our district librarian and our library textbook services team, who work tirelessly year-round to ensure that all of our students have access to instructional materials, to provide schools with materials as soon as they ask for them, and there's a flurry of activity there all of the time. If you haven't been to the warehouse, I encourage you to take a visit and meet that team. And then Tasha not only maintains our district library here, she also manages our entire instructional materials sufficiency process. She works with the county, and she goes to every single site to ensure that the sites are prepared for these reviews. So let's give it up for Tasha Weatherall.
Yay, that was almost as good as that last one. That was almost as good. Okay, so do I need to read what the Williams review is for? Okay, and then I just skip through? Okay. Yes. So I'm just going to say that this is our third year with our current list of schools that we are visiting. In January, we will get a new list of sites that will be visited. The word on the street is that the number will increase based on factors and new requirements. So this year, we visited 25 of our sites. So we visited these 25 sites. Nope, this is fine. This list was given to us by SCOE in March. We send out notices to principals about when the visit's coming. They schedule the SCOE schedules the visits, and then they come out within the first 4 weeks of school. We finished our last one on Tuesday, and we started the second week of school, and we are there every day. So we're doing 2, sometimes 3 sites a day, doing site visits to make sure that their students have access to core curriculum in their classrooms. We did not have any insufficiencies this year. Every school passed first time, which was pretty exciting. First time in my time of doing this that's happened, so that was pretty exciting. So they all passed, and then we survey the rest of the sites to ensure that they also have their curriculum that they need, which I'll be honest, our slide says 100%. Well, 100% of our schools that were reviewed by SCOE did have sufficient textbooks, but we have at this point not heard back from a couple of our sites. But if we do hear from them that they need something, it will go out the next day. There is still, I know, some leveling happening at sites, so there's, new kids coming and changes. So I'm going to recommend that you approve that we did what we were supposed to do. I don't know really what I'm supposed to say here. Every year I get so flustered up here, so, okay, so.
Understood. Thank you. Is there any public comment?
There's none.
Yes, this is an action item, though. More discussion? Ms. Chu Griffith?
I just really want to quickly say thank you and highlight the $3.6 million used for instructional materials for world languages. I know in my school, the old textbooks we had were over 20 years old and relatively unusable, so most teachers were kind of creating their own language curriculum, and I think the textbooks we have received are pretty great so far, and they've been very helpful in helping to standardize world language education.
I agree, and I would also say that part of that adoption process is so important, and I know we're coming up on a math adoption, so, as a call out to sites to be involved in that adoption process, because the way it works best is when teachers and students are involved in that process. So, yes. Yeah. So I'm glad you like them.
My Spanish teacher shared with us she was able to help be part of the selection process, and it's great to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other of my colleagues want to share? No? Okay, it's an action item. So, yes, and student preferential vote?
Aye. Member Kayada? Member Jean?
Aye.
Member Phillips?
Aye.
Member Rhodes?
Aye.
Member Singh?
Aye.
Member Villa?
Aye. Thank you.
That was not as exciting as it Yes, so exciting.
Item 11.1, 2023 year-end financial unaudited actuals. Ms. Marking, the floor is all yours.
You guys need us to cheer you on?
Do you want?
Always. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, President Phillips, Superintendent Allen, members of the board, and community. I'm Janae Marking, Chief Business and Operations Officer. Co-presenting with me tonight is Cindy Tao, Interim Assistant Superintendent of Business Services. This is item 11.1, the 2023-24 unaudited actuals and 2024-25 budget update, which is presented to you this evening with staff recommendation for approval of the 2023-24 unaudited actuals. It is our intent to build equity into the foundation of our processes. In recognition of our core value, we are working on a complete redesign of the budget development process that results in improved accuracy, transparency, and focus on maximizing opportunities for students. A list of acronyms is provided for our colleagues and community members that may not be familiar with all of the K-12 fiscal terminology. Before getting into the numbers, I'd like to start with gratitude. To the names you see here, as well as the larger extended team that supports, a very, very large thank you. We are now several weeks into the new school year, but our financial services teams have been working to close out the final numbers from 2023-24. It takes so many, 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 many hours, frustrations, conversations, ahas, and snacks to bring all this together and ready it for presentation. Your time and collaboration is appreciated, everyone. Once again, we will go through a high-level review tonight, and the entire report is available in the board materials and on our website. Here is the agenda of what we will review tonight, which will be the 2023-24 unaudited actuals, a 2024-25 budget update. We're going to do a little bit of analysis together, and then we'll close with summary and recommendation. Once again, this slide is a reminder of the annual budget cycle, which never stops. We are always balancing 3 years at the same time, closing out the prior year and audit, managing and implementing the current year, and planning, developing the next fiscal year. We are currently at the blue arrow, approval of the prior year unaudited actuals, and a current year budget update, reflecting the legislatively adopted state budget. Noteworthy is that the LCAP process and the budget process overlap. Now, Cindy Tao, Interim Assistant Superintendent, will provide the 2023-24 unaudited actuals overview. Cindy?
Thank you. Good evening, President Phillips, board members, student board member, and superintendent. My name is Cindy Tao, and tonight I'll be presenting the financial overview of our district for fiscal year 23-24. Please note that the unaudited actuals is our year-end financial report that is based on the actual data as of 6/30/24. These figures provide a clear picture of our financial standing before being reviewed by external auditors. While unaudited, these numbers are important for understanding where the district stands. First, we'll look at the overview of the District 23-24 General Fund revenues. Again, these are prior year's actuals for July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. Approximately 70% of general funds revenues are unrestricted, while 30% are restricted for special purposes such as Title I or special education. Unrestricted funds are largely discretionary, and restricted funds are spent according to specific rules. We receive revenues from 4 primary resources, the largest, of course, 65%, being the Local Control Funding Formula, or LCFF, which is from the state of California. Total general fund revenues for fiscal year 23-24 was $854 million, an increase of about 5% since estimated actuals were presented in June. LCFF revenue is stable. The increase is due to the release of the 21-22 instructional penalty liability of $41 million. Next, we look at expenditures. Approximately 54% of general fund expenditures are unrestricted, while the remaining 40% are restricted. This pie chart illustrates these expenditures by major account code. Overall, the district total expenditures for the prior fiscal year reached $814 million, marking a 6% decrease since estimated actuals. A significant portion of the expenditures was allocated to personnel costs, reflecting our identity as an organization of people. Specifically, certificated salaries amounted to $313 million, while classified salaries total approximately $90 million. Benefits totaled to $219 million. While salaries and benefits increased, the most significant change occurred in books, supplies, and contracts to support and adjust to evolving problematic needs. Next, let's take a look at how the general ending fund balance based on revenue and expenditure totals. This chart compares the 23-24 adopted budget, estimated actuals at the third interim, the fund balance is, and unaudited actual as of June 30th, 2024, which is the last bar. Throughout the year, the fund balance is projected based on any surplus or deficit relative to the overall budget. Now, within the unaudited actuals, we see the results of the budget activities from the previous year and the final calculation of the fund balance. For 23-24, the total ending fund balance increased to $298 million. That is both restricted and unrestricted funds. This figure is derived from the beginning fund balance plus total revenues minus total expenditures. This bar chart displays the breakdown of the ending fund balance into unrestricted and restricted components, showing increases in both categories. The comparison between the adopted budget and the unaudited actuals is relatively close when compared to estimated actuals. This is mainly due to the timing of the estimated actuals reported at third interim, where transactions were recorded and reported by the end of April. At that point, not all transactions were recorded, and most revenues and expenditures are typically finalized by the end of June, which explains the differences. Now we're going to look closely moving into the presentation to get a better analysis. I'll move through the next slides very quickly. We have provided a summary of the changes, both unrestricted and restricted, that occurred between projections to actuals. LCFF revenue increased with the COLA true-up, but also the release of the 21-22 instructional penalty that was granted by SBE waiver. No, you may be wondering about the 41 million figure. This is unrestricted only. The remaining 6 million is basically impacted other funds, primarily charter school. There are also increases in unanticipated interest revenue due to higher interest earnings. Continue from the previous slides, there were several reductions in expenditures in prior year. Some unrestricted expenditures decreased as we maximized the use of restricted ESSER fund, extra funding, and there were fewer supplies and services expenditures than anticipated. This is the final slide of unrestricted changes, which detail our capital outlays and other indirect costs. Moving to the restricted summary of changes, there were revenue adjustment to Title I and special education, as well as some of the funding we received from the state of California for special programs. Similar to unrestricted, restricted funds reflect changes due to decreases in both anticipated revenues with local grants and expected expenditures. And last but not least, this is the final slide summarizing changes to restricted projections. Overall, we had some positive movement in our services and operating services. But before moving on to the next slide, I want to take a moment to recognize our business services staff. They put in long hours, nights and weekends to ensure the successful closing of our fiscal year. Big, huge thank you to our budget director right behind me, Christian Ramirez. Our budget manager, Macy Chin, she's probably sleeping right now because it finally ended. Accounting manager, Paula Lopez, our accounting analyst, Macy Chow, as well as our many budget analysts. It really took a village to close out, and it took 3.5 months to close out the year. The district couldn't have done this without each and every one of them. Next, to present the 24-25 budget update is our Chief Business Operation Officer, Janae Marking. I also call her the fire chief because she put out fires every single day.
Thank you so much, Cindy. So let's move into the 2024-25 budget update and then our analysis. Recall this slide from our 2024-25 budget adoption presentation in June. While a 45-day budget update is not required by state law, it is a best practice to revise the adopted budget for alignment to the final legislative budget, which is signed weeks after our budget model must be created. We delayed this update from August until now so that we could incorporate the ending fund balance number from unaudited actuals. Circling back to this list, we have incorporated these changes to our multi-year projection with the exception of one item. Unfortunately, SEIU negotiations have not settled yet, contrary to the optimism of both SEIU and district teams. However, we're still in negotiations. We're going to bring that to a close soon. Changes since budget adoption have impacted both revenues and expenditures. Referring back to the last bullet on the prior slide, right-sizing plan implementation, we discussed our commitments to right-sizing our budget and a path to get there in June because the district's multi-year projections have indicated the potential for financial distress ahead if action is not taken. To keep us on the same page, right-sizing is bringing our revenues and our expenditures into balance with the intent to incur only small variance and maintain the required reserve of 2%. We right-size by looking for opportunities to increase revenues and decrease expenditures while still accelerating our efforts to ensure robust programs for students. While simple in concept, it can be difficult to implement. As part of our right-sizing plan, we made these 6 commitments to each other and our community. As we are reviewing our budget, seeking those opportunities to increase revenues and decrease expenditures, the final outcomes will be the result of working together. For the numbers people watching and listening, this is a summary of how we envision the actions to right-size will impact our multi-year projections. However, again, for any of this to become our future reality, we must be committed to implementing the actions that result in these numbers. Here is a look at the updated multi-year projection, which reflects known changes since adopting the budget in June through July 31st. This projection comes with a big note. It is a work in progress. As we have discussed, the budget team is deeply engaged in redesigning processes for improved accuracy and transparency. Those efforts will certainly be reflected in the multi-year projection as we move through this year and review first and second interim reports together. I would like to highlight the improvement that is already surfacing in this forecast as compared to the multi-year projection at adopted budget. This projection indicates that we have corrected the negative ending fund balance previously shown for 25-26 and reduced the amount of negative ending fund balance in 26-27. That does not mean the budget is fixed. We still have a lot of work to do, but let us celebrate the movement in the right direction and share an optimism that we will certify at least one positive interim report, if not 2, in the months ahead. Again, the commitments we have made are about taking these strides ourselves and maintaining control here at the district level. While projections are just that, projections, whether they show gloom and doom or sunny skies, it's not about the talk. It's all about our actions. Projections show our intentions. Actuals show our actions. The task is to bring intentions and actions into alignment for more optimal results. Before we get to the summary, let's look at some analysis together. This is the exact slide we looked at during adopted budget in June. It is a multi-year look at total revenues and expenditures included in the forecasted included is also the forecasted years ahead. Previously, 23-24 expenditures were projected to exceed revenues. However, this is a revised version that now shows actuals in which revenue actually exceeded expenditures in 23-24. This comparison also shows that our historical trend is to maintain total expenditures below total revenue, while the forecast shows the opposite, the one exception being the year the instructional days penalty was calculated. There are notable changes ahead, perhaps the largest being the expiration of ESSER and COVID-19 supplemental funding. But deficit spending doesn't have to be our reality if we take action to ensure the right sizing we have committed to. Again, this is another exact slide we looked at during adopted budget in June. It's a multi-year look at total ending fund balance, including the forecasted years ahead. Previously, 23-24 ending fund balance was projected to decrease due to deficit spending, or more expenditures than revenues. However, this is a revised version that now shows actuals in which fund balance actually increased in 23-24 as compared to the projected decrease at budget adoption. This comparison also shows that while yes, we added to the fund balance, one, we must implement better systems for ensuring use of our restricted dollars first, as we can see large balances of restricted dollars each year. And two, our forecast is improving as we work to resolve those negative fund balances in future years. This is a similar slide to what we reviewed before, with an update to compare the contribution at estimated actuals to unaudited actuals, as well as changes in the multi-year forecast. As a reminder, the contribution is the total amount of unrestricted dollars required to offset an overspend in a restricted program. Though the contribution dropped from estimated to unaudited, it is significantly increased when compared to the historical trend. The district's largest contribution is to our special education program, as the state and federal dollars we receive for special education services are well below the cost of providing the services our students need, and at no fault to our students with IEPs. It isn't my place to say what the right contribution number might be, as we must provide the services and opportunities our students are entitled to. However, it is prudent to review the practices of every site, department, and program to ensure that our dollars are maximized, and we discontinue practices and programs that maybe aren't producing the results we want for students and staff. We are getting close to wrapping up here. This final slide for analysis is a comparison of ending fund balance by year, adopted budget projection, and ending unaudited actuals. With the exception of the 2021-22 school year, in which, the instructional day penalty was assessed, the actual ending fund balance has exceeded the projection and has increased over time. We know this is a high-level look, and within these totals, there is a distinct line between unrestricted and restricted sources. However, the comparison of this chart and the actuals, which show general fiscal health, to our projections and the multi-year forecast, which indicates fiscal distress, and considering that's been the pattern, it's striking. This isn't to blame or accuse past teams or efforts, but rather call out the glaring variances the historical data reflects and learn from it. We take it as a call to action, and we are making strides towards better alignment between the two fiscal barometers. In summary, the 2023-24 unaudited actuals report reflects a surplus or an increase to the fund balance, and the district clearly meets the 2% reserve requirement. Staff have put the right-sizing plan into motion and worked to revise procedures, improve accuracy, and update the assumptions in our multi-year forecast is underway. These efforts are ongoing, and updates will be provided during the upcoming interim reporting periods. In addition, we discussed improved internal controls, budget literacy, and consistent implementation of practices as part of the right-sizing plan. During budget adoption, you heard about the Great Reset. Here it is. Generally speaking, this is an extensive memorandum intended to create a point of reference and ensure we are all on the same page. While it does include some changes, the bulk of it is about procedures that were already in place, just not consistently implemented. Nevertheless, clear communication of procedures is the purpose, because I firmly believe that to be successful in this world, all you need is love and a process. The exciting thing, my colleagues are excited about this. I've been asked several times, when do we get to see the Great Reset? To my friends and community, we have already discussed plans for the 2025-26 budget development together, and within the next few weeks, copies of this document will be distributed widely. It is just another step in what I believe to be the right direction. Within all of this, our primary goal is preserving control at the district level and returning to positive budget certifications based on our ability to meet the required reserve in the current year and 2 future years. We will get there if we continue working together. Staff recommends approval of the 2023-24 unaudited actuals report, and we seek your action on this item. As always, thank you so much for your continued support, and that concludes our presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Marking and Ms. Tao. Wow. It's always just such a pleasant hearing that. Anyway, do we have any public comment?
We have one, Mo Kashmiri.
Hi, Mr. Kashmiri. The floor is yours, sir.
Hey, everybody, Mo Kashmiri. I just wanted to say, appreciate all the information they're sharing. I am not I don't know exactly what the details are of a right-sizing plans. I think our students need more support, not less. And I think there are revenue opportunities that we could be looking at that we haven't looked at. I just learned recently that the ban on a soda tax actually got thrown out in court. And so a soda tax is actually a possibility, and you can actually pass it right now with a 50% majority if you put it on the ballot through a referendum, through petitions at the city level. So there are different revenue options I think we should be exploring and looking at. In addition, for example, we pass resolutions all the time. One resolution we could pass is for Doris Matsui to support a bill that's currently pending to try to get the federal government to pay its fair share of special ed. Because one of the structural problems is there's not enough money for special ed. And that's something that we have to long-term get that money from the federal government if we're gonna solve that situation. Would urge this board to proactively look for additional revenue instead of just looking at cuts when our students need more support. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. I would invite some board conversation. Anybody want to share? Other than my bubbly excitement at just the delivery that I can understand. Ms. Jean?
You guys are making me speak first. You just keep looking at me over here.
I just wait for someone to hit the button. Good job.
All right. I just, again, so appreciate your approach. There is such clarity in how you're talking about what we're doing, the clear, the communication, not only when you make presentations to the board, but with our plan and the right sizing and all of those pieces of it. I just think about the systems change that we are embarking on when it comes to our finances. And looking at the ways in which we maximize the resources we're giving for students to ensure that it gets to their education, rather than being, I don't even really know what to say, being spent in unhelpful, problematic, or not as tight ways, right? We're tightening all that up, and I so appreciate it. You also lead with caring about people, and I appreciate how you talk about that. Talking from your staff, I love that this first slide we got to see was everybody's names. We only, as a board, so often get to see the folks that are legally required to come present to us, and the rest of you all get to sit in the back. And so I just really appreciate knowing there are so many people behind the scenes doing such incredible work, and that you care about our people doing this work. I also appreciate how you talk about our labor partners and the work that we're doing there to ensure that all of our employees are a part of our financial processes and the conversations we have. This is a difficult task. There is a lot of historical data and historical stories and things that we are coming through, and it's a difficult task done really well. So thank you for all of your work, to you and all of your team members.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Jean. Mr. Kayada?
I just once again want to call out your team and your approach, speaking to the two of you, I guess, for how we look at our finances and how we approach them as just a necessary part of what it is to be a school district. And there's a third year out that looks scary, but it's not doom and gloom, as many people have said. It's just a problem to be reckoned with, and we trudge on year after year. I think it also allows us to focus on what we really need to be doing for our students, and it has a buy-in of the community that is really infectious. So I just really wanted to thank you for really this breath of fresh air, because these conversations for the school district in the previous 20 years were really always we're going bankrupt, we're done. And this is, we have a plan and we're going to do it. And I really appreciate it. So thank you.
No, thank you so much.
No more names. Well, thank you. This is, of course, an action item. So, I guess I'm calling for a motion.
Second.
Good. Student preferential vote?
Aye.
Member Kayada.
Aye.
Member Jean.
Aye.
Member Phillips.
Aye.
Member Rhodes.
Aye.
Member Singh.
Aye.
Member Villa.
Aye.
With gratitude, thank you.
Thank you.
We want.
Item 12.0, communication, student member report. Ms. Chu Griffith?
Okay. First, I just want to briefly talk about the threats of violence made on social media against some schools this past week. First, I just want to, thank everyone at SUSD, especially the school administrators, for the communication with students. I know I and some of my other peers who go to other schools all received emails from our administrators addressing the threats, giving us updates about what was going on with the situations, and briefly mentioning that there are student support services available. But I would just like to kind of reemphasize that it is really scary to be a student right now, and the threat of violence is never zero. And I think with that, we need to really ensure we're providing adequate mental health services and really giving students a way to cope with this fact. And then on a bit of a brighter note, some essays with the Student Advisory Council and the initiatives we passed last year. I just want to thank facilities. We were able to speak with facilities and LGBTQ support services yesterday about the gender neutral bathroom initiative passed last year. And they have gone around to multiple school sites listed in that resolution and kind of scoped out and planned the creation and implementation of more accessible gender neutral restrooms. Additionally, we were informed that in new construction plans for new school sites, they are taking into account gender neutral bathrooms, and I'm really glad that this is something that's being changed within our district. They've also added bathroom cleanliness sheets and more regular bathroom checks into our school bathrooms, hoping to kind of improve cleanliness, and they're getting more checked more frequently, leading to overall just cleaner bathrooms. And there are 15 new custodians in the district, which is really great. They're mainly at larger school sites, which is something we talked a lot about with SAC in the campus hygiene initiative, and I'm really glad that that's something that's being implemented. And then real quickly, I know the LGBTQ plus task force is having their first meeting of the year this coming Wednesday at Turner Center. And then we also have on Wednesdays our Student Advisory Council meetings, and I'd just like to make sure you all know the invite is still open. We'd love to have you guys come out to the Student Advisory Council meetings, get to know the new members, and just kind of, see what we get done at our meetings. And then that's all for today.
Thank you. President's report. I'm actually going to speak this evening, and I'm just going to introduce you all to Humphrey. This is Humphrey. So I'm just going to read you the letter. I would love to see this be expanded at some point, but I'm just going to read the letter. This is for our Sacramento City Unified School District team. As we embark on this new adventure of improving student outcomes by addressing systemic racism in our public school system, I want to ensure a maintained focus on the elephant in the room, systemic racism. I also want to ensure you have safety as we navigate our understanding, approach, design, and implementation of this much-needed change. This will more than likely involve very difficult conversations, which are guaranteed to cause discomfort, but are integral in the building of future successes for our scholars. So please welcome Humphrey into your heart. He may show up in a mailbox. Just welcome into your heart as a trusted friend who is here to help you in your important work. Humphrey's here to provide you with comfort. He loves to listen and enjoys a good squeeze or ear rub as well when you need him the most. Keep him in your bag. Take him to your meetings. Set him on your desk so that he can be readily available to do his best job, help you, help others. And this is from me to you with love and admiration for our students and for their future. And as a social worker, I have extremely difficult conversations with very young people, and we have to get those conversations done because they're there to help everyone. And so Humphrey comes with a cute little card, and it addresses the 7 reasons adults should have stuffed animals too. This is not for the kids. This is for the big people. And it states that stuffed animals bring a sense of security. Stuffed animals help ease loneliness. Stuffed animals help improve mental health. Stuffed animals can help us grieve. Stuffed animals help us heal from trauma. Stuffed animals remind us of childhood. And stuffed animals reduce stress. I feel my blood pressure dropping just touching this soft little squishy little elephant. But I want us all to appreciate the need to have the conversations, but to keep having them. I tell you, my brain is just going, I'd love for everyone to have these, all the way down to our administrators in every school, because we have to keep having these conversations. But I think it's more important for us to realize that change is difficult. Change is not necessarily something you want to deal with. And the way we're working it here at Sac City Unified with our changes, every day is something new and it's something better. But from the preschool teacher / social worker to all of y'all, this is going to be very helpful as we continue. And I also kind of want to share with my colleagues, I appreciate you guys being open to our neurospiciness. Even though I'm sitting here as, the board president, I am the queen of learning. What is learning disabilities? And there's a number of letters that are after me, and I will ask questions because I really don't understand. And you guys have been generous and caring in my fumbling and whatever it is I'm doing up here, but it's all for the betterment of our students and improving those outcomes. But I appreciate it because, we are human beings. We all care about each other. We have our days. But today I knew was going to be a very difficult day, and I appreciate the grace that you guys gave me this evening, like you do at every meeting. But today was especially important to me. So I appreciate you guys. And I'm telling you, I want Humphrey at all the meetings. So President out. Any of my colleagues want to share? Nobody? All right. Moving on. 13.0 consent. Do we have any public comment?
There is none.
Mo Kashmiri left. What? Just kidding. All right, so I'm going to wait just a second to see if anybody pops up in the speaking queue, and then I'm going to ask for a motion. Now I'm going to ask for a motion to approve all items on consent, huh? Okay, I'll second that. Student preferential vote?
Aye. Member Kayada? Member Jean? Aye. Member Phillips?
Aye.
Member Rhodes?
Aye.
Member Singh?
Aye.
Member Villa?
Aye.
So moved.
Looky there. Back to the yellow paper. Item 14.0, future board meetings, dates, locations. Reading it slow for those in the back. I mean, not really, but for those in the back. October 3, 2024, 5 p.m. Closed session, 6 p.m. Cerna Center, 5735 47th Avenue, Community Room. October 24, 2024, 5 p.m. Closed session, 6 p.m. Open session, Cerna Center, 5735 47th Avenue, Community Room. Item 15.0, adjournment. Second. All in favor? Aye. Let us exit the building. Thank you all.